Welcome back. This week we are beginning our transformation from decimals to fractions. So here we have 3 decimals, and you know that we read this one 4/10, this one 82 hundredths, and this one 175 thousandths. So for this week we are going to write them as fractions and then simplify them by reducing them down to the simplest terms. So let's look at the first one, 4/10. We would write it 4/10. So from 3rd grade, you should know how to reduce fractions, but in case you don't, we're going to go over it a little bit. So for 4/10, we need to find a number that can go into each of these numbers equally. My trick is usually to try 10, and 10 can go into 10, but it can't go into 4. So then I try 5, and that won't work. So then I go to 2. Sometimes you have to keep finding numbers to simplify, and you'll see in our other examples that we have to do that. But for this one, 2 will work. So I'm going to divide the top by 2 and the bottom by 2. And when I do that, I get 2/5. Now, this is the simplest terms because there is no common factor for 2 and 5. So let's go to 82 hundredths. We would write that as 82 hundredths. So 10 won't work because this doesn't end in 0. 5 won't work because 2 is not a multiple of 5. So I'm going to go back to my old routine of going to 2. Dividing by 2 sometimes gives you a number that you want, and sometimes it does not. So now I get 4150. Now, I have to check just in case 10 doesn't work, 5 won't work, 2 won't work because of the 1. So now I have to use my common knowledge of multiplication to say, are there any 2 numbers, whole numbers, that can be multiplied together to get me 41? And the answer is no. So we know that this is in simplest form. So now we're ready for this one. It's 175 thousandths, so I must put it over thousandths. Now I'm going to use my rules that I know. Alright, 10 won't work because this isn't a 0. But 5 would work because this is a 5, and 5's always going to numbers ending in 0. So, instead of divided by 2, I'm going to do divide by 5. Divide by 5. And I know that that is going to be 3/5 over 200. So, I'm looking at my numbers again. 10 won't work, but I know 5 would work. So, divided by 5 gives me 7/40. And there are no 2 numbers that can be multiplied to give me 7. So I know that I am done reducing for that problem. Please use the practice videos that are attached to make sure you understand before we go on. Thank you.